Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand. Today, we're talking with a guest who is an expert in the power of using incentives to sell more without discounting. Music to my ears. He's going to share his story, exactly who he helps, and why he does what he does. I'm Tanya Eberhardt, founder of BrandFace, where we help experts and influencers differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was actually a BrandFace client almost 8 years ago, and the principles made my company so successful that I became a partner in the company just to help other entrepreneurs achieve the same level of success. Today, we're the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe, and we do Be Bold branding to help other people take the fear out of putting themselves out there, exactly like this guy we're fixing to introduce you to.
Marco Torres is the founder of marketingboost.com. He's helped thousands of business owners worldwide boost sales and scale their businesses by as much as 5-fold through the use of incentive-based marketing. He teaches entrepreneurs how to soar sales and marketing through the use of value add incentives instead of discounts. We're going to find out what he's talking about. His Facebook group is home to more than 27,000 active business owners who are raking in sales with his advice. Welcome, Marco.
Hello and welcome, and thank you for having me. Rather, I say welcome, but thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be on your show and reach your audience, so appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming on. We're excited about your subject today, especially being all entrepreneurs here. We want to know sort of how this works. So start with the basics. Tell us how you got started in the profession, like in this. Was there a specific event or person in your life that sort of helped shape where you've headed and how you've gotten to where you are?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. Well, we got into the travel business early on when I moved from Puerto Rico. I mean, I grew up, I'm a Tex-Mex. I was born in San Antonio, Texas, Mexican descendants. But then I grew up in Puerto Rico, so I'm the only Chicano Rican you're ever going to meet. But moved to Florida 30 years ago or so, and did all types of, I've always been an entrepreneur of one kind or another, doing one business or the other. But I got into the travel business in the early 90s. And then really became an expert on the internet marketing in the late 90s. So before Facebook, before Google, I was doing internet marketing. I was a spammer before they invented that word spam, or applied the word spam to email marketing. I was doing at one point 100 million emails a month. But we got into the travel business, and after the crash, I launched my own business. Prior to that, I was in the corporate world, in the corporate travel, and helped generate nearly $1 billion for a big corporation in travel sales. And in 2008, after the crash, my partners and we launched our own travel business. We were kind of forced to, with the whole reinventing yourself in the 2008, 2009 era. And so we launched a travel business. And when you get started, you're early on, you start doing a lot of volume and traffic. What might happen? Well, what happened to us is we got a number of negative reviews that and Google would put them right up on top, and then there was affecting the business negatively. The only way to get around that was we were trying to figure out how to get around that. And one of the ways we did it was we started, one, fixing whatever issues we were having, obviously. Two, we needed to move or do something about those reviews that lived on the internet forever. So we started inviting our guests that were traveling with us to post a video review, a testimonial, a selfie video if they did a selfie video from the pool, the resort, the beach, the highlights of the hotel, and gave kind of a hotel review and shouted out to the brand of the hotel and our brand, we would reward them with a complimentary hotel stay. And that took off like a firework. So instead of just generating, written reviews that people think sometimes are often people think written reviews might be fake or might be paid for. It's hard to fake a video review from a family on the beach, at the hotel, at the resort, or whatever, and giving out a shout out to your brand and building your brand and what have you. So we use those video testimonials like, incredibly, we post, have them all over the website, all over the landing pages to the offers of that particular hotel that we were marketing. And before you know it, we had over 30,000 video testimonials from happy travelers all over the world. And unlike, more than any other travel website that we've ever found, we have video, happy video testimonials with people, becoming evangelists for our brand, and just giving us shout outs with video testimonials. So that became such a big part of our business as we leveraged those videos and testimonials, that we thought this would be a great business to offer to everybody else out there, to set it up as a business all by itself in a box where people could use our incentives to grow and build their personal brand, build their business, build their brand, their company brand, etc. So I don't know if that kind of helps you, give you a little rundown of how I got started in this and we launched marketingboost.com, which is where you could see more about us, back in 2017. So we were in business quite a few years before we launched this new product.
Mm-hmm.
What a great way to put positive reviews out there, push down any negative ones from the past, right? Because really that's all you can do is push them down the line. Can we dig just a little bit more, Marco, into like when you guys work with your clients and help them become more incentive based rather than discount based? Tell me, like, walk me through a scenario or tell me a little bit more about what that means.
Well, great. Again, thank you for a good question. Here's first of all, let me cover why you don't want to discount. You can literally discount yourself out of business very quickly and very easily with a small discount. So let's suppose, for example, your whatever widgets you sell, product you sell, coaching you sell, what have you. Let's say you're at the end of the day, for every $1,000 in revenue, you make a 20% net profit. So you're making $200 net profit for every $1,000 in sales. Let's suppose, and then you discount it 10%. So now you're going to sell it for $900, but your costs are still the same. Your marketing costs still the same, staffing, all your, internet costs, etc. So now you're generating $900 in revenue, making $100 net profit instead of $2. So in order to end up at the same place you were when you were selling it for $1,000, you need to nearly double your sales to $1,800 to be at the same $200 in net profit. And that's not always easy to do. You think you want to make it up with volume, but if you're not double or tripling the volume with that 10% discount, then if you're only doubling it, you're still staying in the same place and just working harder. So
Exactly.
So you want to find ways to, and then of course, all of us are competing. Most of us today, we have competitors. If you don't have competitors, you're likely struggling as well, because that means the niche isn't big enough. So that can be a challenge as well if you don't have a lot of competitors. But when we are in the sea of a bunch of sharks all swimming in the same ocean for the same clients, we want to stand out from the crowd, but that can be challenging as well, which we'll talk about how our incentives can help you stand out from the crowd and be different. But we look at our competitors, we analyze them, we follow their lead, their ad campaigns, etc. And we get even more frustrated because they're advertising more than you are, and so you end up discounting, and then you end up discounting, both of you, or all of your competitors end up discounting down to zero, because we think price is the only way to compete sometimes. And so what we like to promote is, include the incentives that we offer. So what are the incentives that we offer? At marketingboost.com, what we have done is revolutionize the travel incentive industry. We're not the first to do it. There's been plenty of travel companies doing certificate sales for decades. We've all seen them over the years, cruise certificate, 3-night free cruise, or, 3-night hotel stays and what have you. Well, what we decided to do, we were going to get in it and stand out from the crowd ourselves, was do it better than anybody else, and do it where it's easy to use. Most of the certificate industry, there's all kinds of hoops to jump through to use those certificates. They often require you to send in a check in advance with multiple dates that you might want to use it, 45 days minimum advance notice prior to being able to book the travel dates that you want, or 60-day minimum notice. They have, again, just all kinds of hoops and loops, and essentially their business model is designed on hoping that whoever received the certificate, the incentive, doesn't actually use it. What we did was completely turn that on its head, and we designed a program where, because we were a high volume travel company, we went out and worked with hundreds of hotels around the world, and presented them an idea to help them fill what would otherwise be empty hotel rooms. Normally, hotel rooms are, as any hotel is typically 70 to 80% full and 20 to 30% unoccupied any night of the week, except maybe holidays and weekends. So we convinced them on a program where we help them put warm bodies in those rooms that would have likely sat empty, where those people are going to at least maybe book an extra night or two. They're going to spend money at the restaurant, the spa, the room service, the casino, and on, all of the other revenue generating outlets that a hotel property might have. And so with our program, we're helping them fill where they're at least generating room revenue. I mean, they're generating property revenue and consume. So everybody wins. The hotel wins with somebody on the property spending money at the restaurant, the spa, the you name it. The Marketing Boost member, who's one of our clients, is winning because they're able to stand out from the crowd and use our incentives as part of their call to action, such as when you book a coaching session with me. If you stick with me for at least a minimum of 3 months so that I can get you off the ground and running, at the end of 90 days, I'm going to reward you with a complimentary 5-night stay in Cancun, for example. And so you use that incentive as your customer draw card. So our member wins and the client who received the incentive wins because it's easy to use, no hoops to jump through, no timeshare presentations, no sales presentations or anything at all. It's an online platform. When they receive the certificate, they activate it online by paying the resort taxes. There are resort taxes and fees to be paid. Those the government doesn't give you the freebie. The hotel might, but the government wants their piece of the pie always. So there's the taxes and fees must be paid, but then the end user receives a 3 or 4 or 5-night hotel stay, compliments of our Marketing Boost member, and they have 125 destinations to select from all over the world, like Phuket, Thailand, 7 nights in Phuket, 4 nights in Bali, 5 nights in Cancun, Mexico, 5 nights in Hawaii, 3 nights in Orlando, 3 nights in Las Vegas, literally 125 really, hot spots, tourist spots around the world that everybody wants to go to. And so that's how one of the type of certificates that we offer, and how you can plug that in to making your offer stand out from the crowd. I'll tell you more about those, but I'll let you soak that in and see what other question you have next.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's talk about strategy to that. All of that sounding really good. You have any good, like maybe a strategy for reviving a database you haven't touched base with maybe in a minute? You know what I mean? Maybe you want to, revive this thing.
We all have those.
Yeah. Can you use this incentivization in a real life scenario like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of different ways to do that, for if you got everybody's birth date, when their birthday comes around, you could be sending people on their birthday a complimentary hotel stay just to stay relevant and stay within their circle. Or we also offer hotel savings cards. The 3 different types of incentives we offer are: 1, I mentioned the complimentary trips. 2, we have the hotel savings cards from $100 in cash credits to $200, $300, or $500. And they come in different increments so that you can use them, like we're talking about here, with different calls to action, different campaigns. So if I'm just reviving my database and I'm saying, hey, reaching out, hey, happy New Year, everybody. 2022, we're off to a good year. We're running a great promotion right now. If you'll reply, let us know you're still interested in our newsletter. Let us know you're still interested in, whatever it is your widget or service is, or something along those lines. Raise your hand, let us know where your stand are, or if you'd like a review of your account or what have you. We're going to reward you with a $100 hotel savings card just for rebooking another appointment for us to review your account, or for us to review your status. I mean, again, obviously your call to actions vary with each type of client, whether you're an insurance agent. We have a ton of insurance agents using our product, tax companies, to make sure that, as tax season comes around right now, I've got hundreds of tax companies that use our service. So now would be the time that they're reaching out to all their past database and saying, before you, do your do your taxes with somebody else, boom, send your book your appointment with us. And whether you do your taxes with us or not, we're going to reward you with a $500 hotel savings card. Or maybe you say, if you do your taxes with us again this year, we've got this new reward for you. We have people who use them for loyalty programs. You've been with us for over a year, so we want to activate, provide you with this reward just because we value your business. Customer appreciation month, hey, we're running a customer appreciation month this month of January 2022. Take action this month, and bam, we've got this special reward for the first 100 clients. So we always like to also make these, even though as a Marketing Boost member, just to give you an idea how it works, we also revolutionize how we price it. I mean, we made it a simple no-brainer pricing of only $37 a month starting at $37 a month for an entrepreneur to be able to have unlimited access to these 3 different types of incentives: the hotel savings cards, the complimentary trips, and we have restaurant vouchers, restaurant savings vouchers, kind of like a restaurant.com thing where you're giving them buy one, get one free, 25% off, 15% off. So the restaurant vouchers can be used for these what I call micro calls to action. We recommend a micro incentive to go with a micro call to action, such as, join our newsletter list and get $100 a restaurant savings card, for example. If you do, too big an offer that without a big enough dollar value to go with it, it sounds too good to be true. And,
right.
It almost sounds, it just doesn't work. So although you have unlimited of all of them, we recommend you create scarcity and urgency in how you present these incentives so that they hold that perceived value up very high.
I love it. And so is there a cost also to the card? So for instance, you join your club, and then do you buy? I assume it's not dollar for dollar, right? What, a $500, or let's just do $100 restaurant card. What's that going to cost the user?
That costs $7.95.
$7.95. So it's built a lot upon that, like you said, that principle where, hey, if you go through these steps, you're going to get this $100. Most people are not going to go through this step. If they did go through that step, it's going to cost you $7 at the end.
Right. So as the business owner, if you do, you have the option to pay that $7.95 and send it to your client, or you have the option to send it to them and let them decide if they want to activate the voucher or not for $7.95. The hotel vouchers, the hotel savings cards, for example, have no cost to the Marketing Boost member and no cost to the user who receives it until they book a hotel room. So the hotel savings card is not going to be, what it is it's like a gift card, but the discount will not provide, it'll provide between 10 and 50% off of the retail rate. So if an Expedia hotel was $200 a night, a $200 hotel savings card would not get them one free night, but it would give them our net wholesale travel agency rates is what the end user would get. So that 3 nights for $200 a night on Expedia might be $600, and with our hotel savings card, it might be $400. So they'd save the $200 in one booking, for example. But if the savings was only $150, then they'd have a $50 credit in their account for the next hotel booking that they go to use. And they would not be out they wouldn't be spending anything until they actually booked that hotel with the, $150 or $200 or $500 in savings, depending upon which card was sent, what hotels were booked, and length of stay, if that makes sense.
Oh, it absolutely does. Any strategies like you would suggest for social media in the same way, like our page, register on our website? Can you use
the
these
micro
incentives
offers, right?
as the same way?
Yes, absolutely. That's probably one of the most powerful ways a lot of our members have used it, especially those that have built Facebook groups. I've got stories of many a client that have built their Facebook groups to as many as over 100,000. One that comes to mind, a guy named Corey Richard, he built his group from 0 to 10,000 members in his Facebook group in less than 90 days. And what he was doing, and many others are doing the same thing, a pretty simple process. They invite their members to invite others to join their group. So they'll say, if you invite, we're running a contest this week, everybody who invites a minimum of 20 people to the group will get a chance to win a 5-night complimentary trip to Cancun, Mexico, or 3 nights in Las Vegas, or what have you. And so they're constantly running these contests, giving away the complimentary trip to, several people in the group, but not to everybody who invited 20 or 30 people. And that way they can keep running the same promotion, multiple times a week or a month. and getting people to virally invite a bunch of their network to join the group. And then they can reward them just for inviting those people to join the group, and it just keeps growing. And then they can make a big deal out of the ones that they sent those that won, send them the certificate. They can encourage them to travel, ask them to do a video testimonial when they travel, so they can come back into the group and post, yeah, I won one of these trips, and here we are in Cancun, and so on. And so again, it's all about leveraging the video testimonials, leveraging the incentives, and making a little bit of noise about it when you're using the promotions.
Yeah, what a
Love
great
that.
we're all about differentiation, as you probably know, and you are as well. You've mentioned it, this is a way to differentiate yourself as a business owner. And I think that's a fantastic way of doing it, because it's keeping it positive. You're not giving away the same old, sit down and watch a 3-hour timeshare presentation, right?
Right,
And then get hounded the rest of your trip. This is totally different, which is just a breath of fresh air. Can't believe it's the first time I'm hearing about your company. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I am too, actually. I mean, being an entrepreneur for so long myself, I'm personally in the real estate business, as well as working with BrandFace. And it's all about growth of businesses, growth of entrepreneurs, whether that you're a face, as long as you are the face of your business, then you fit perfect in those. And every salesperson on earth is that, right? Anybody that is selling anything right off the bat. We would argue even B2B, you're face to face with somebody, but let's just keep it simple for the sake of argument right now. That you can find 1,000 ways through your company to be to add that value add to every one of your customers, which is exactly what every entrepreneur needs to do. Like, it's not enough that we just tell people how great we are, right? So does everybody else. Like, right? You need every mechanical advantage that you can to help build your email list, to build your social media group and following, as well as your circle of influence that is so powerful that you better be feeding every day for prospecting in whatever your industry is, because if you don't, then natural attrition is going to run you into the ground. Right. And to your point, that discounting, you can also do that also. You discounting your services rather than adding value add to your services, it automatically sets you on the wrong foot, and it tells the people subconsciously that you're willing to work cheaper, and none of us make enough money. I can assure you that. It doesn't matter how we've got clients in 43 states and 4 other countries, and none of us make enough money, right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think too, anytime you start out with a discount, where are you going from there? You're in a race to the bottom. Yeah. And that's not any place anybody wants to be. I've had people, early on when we began BrandFace, I used to take all the sales calls, and early on I'd have people mention things to me like, well, so-and-so's a little bit cheaper than you. And I said, thank goodness you didn't use the word cheap with BrandFace, because I never want to be considered the cheapest one in town.
It's worth every dime and
exactly.
more, double it.
Exactly.
Well, one of the richest people I've ever known, and a mentor of mine, that one of the richest people I've known personally, knocking on $1 billion. He said, look, Michael, no matter what you get into, it doesn't matter. You do not have to be the cheapest. In fact, you can be the absolute most expensive every time, but you better be the best. That is the whole key. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what you charge. Is it worth what you charge? Are you over delivering that? And we try to keep that in mind, obviously, in our business. And then to incentivize that, though, or to incentivize the attention to that, can be highly valuable, guys. So listen to what I'm telling you. Just the incentive to get somebody's attention means a lot. Absolutely. And then that's a conversation starter. And then you'll have an opportunity to get their ear then you can pitch your product. And that's very important.
Exactly. In today's world right now, we've got one of the most unique times in history, I think, where more and more of us all over the world, thanks to the pandemic, are working from home and have turned into, a lot of people don't even want to go back to work. In this country right now, we've got it for, help wanted signs all over the country, 11 million jobs available and nobody to take them. And I think a big part of that, from studies that I've read and my own gut feeling tells me, just too many of us have said, you know what, now's the time to start my own business and
Yep.
build my own brand. And so that's fantastic for, for many of us like you and I that support other small, other businesses, entrepreneurs and so forth. But that's how, where we're in. That's the ocean we're in. That's you're swimming amongst a bunch of us that are now becoming sharks to figure out how to make a living from home and build a team. And that's another thing I'd always suggest is, when you're building your personal brand, like you guys promote, you've still got to have a team. I mean, too many small entrepreneurs, I think right now, still try to do everything themselves and try to handle everything all on their own. And they're not thinking big enough. And part of thinking big and building your brand is to have the tools that you need and the products, the incentives, the software, the CRM platform. I mean, if you've got to invest in the tools and you've got to invest in the programs to make yourself, to automate, to be sharp, and then you can do things like we were talking about reputation management. Again, as you start to do a lot of sales of one thing or another, you want to make sure that even if you don't have any negative reviews, in my experience, almost nobody writes a review unless they're either requested, they're asked for, or they're upset. So
Yep.
when people don't like what they got from you, don't like your product, your service, your attention, your lack of attention, whatever it is, that's when they go write a negative review. And then those sit up there and ruin your business for months until you can, bury them. So one of the ways that we teach our clients how to use the incentives, and this is to do if you don't mind me sharing this little tip, this is to do surveys with your clients after they receive your product or service, and ask them, simply on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being low, 5 being high, how did we come in? How did we live up to your expectations? Would you refer us to a friend? And if they come back with a 2 or a 3, then you need to jump all over that client and find out why, and try to fix whatever went wrong and make them happy again. But those that gave you a 4 and 5 that are happy, then immediately reach out, thank them for their business, and send them links to reviews, and ask them, please help us spread the word about our business. Please post a review. And if you'll post a review, a testimony about us on more than one of these, you send them 2 or 3 links. Here's our Better Business Bureau link. Here's our Trustpilot. Here's our Site Jabber, whatever. And then reward them. If you'll post a review on more than one of these or more than 2 of them, I'm going to reward you with a complimentary hotel stay, or I'm going to reward you with a $300 hotel savings card. And by soliciting, making sure you're only sending the links to the surveys, to a review sites for the ones that are you already know that are happy. You're gonna overwhelm your sites with positive reviews,
right?
And those that are negative, that are not happy, you're gonna fix the problem one way or the other. Maybe even using the incentives to help solve the problem. Look, I'm so sorry that we delayed so long in delivering the product, the service, whatever it was, the problem they're complaining about. Here's how I want to fix it. First, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you, and I'm going to throw in, just for your grief, I'm going to give you a complimentary hotel stay on us for, boom, boom. And now you've won the client back. You've fixed the problem, and then you can ask them for a review, because now you've turned them around as soon as you made sure that they are happy with your deal. And then you load up your site with potentially dozens or hundreds, depending upon the volume of business you are. And it's just, and nowadays, people aren't going to buy anything hardly without looking at a review. And then if they're all positive, that's doubtful too. And then especially if you don't have some video testimonials plugged in. So that's why I talk about all of that. When you can show that you're legit, you've got written reviews, you've got them on multiple sites, you've got them you've got video testimonials to go with it. It's like, now, you're an authority in your product and your line. You're building that personal brand that you guys refer to, or your company brand, and testimonials is obviously one of the ways to do that.
Agreed. 1,000%.
Yep.
Well, listen, Marco, we just love your time and everything. We ask 5 important questions of our guests, right? Especially great entrepreneurs like yourself. All right. These questions are about your personal brand or your company brand. And we'd like to ask you those 5 now, if about your personal brand with your company. All right.
Okay, put me on
Number
the spot.
1,
I hope I do okay.
you're going to do great. We
Yes,
can
you will.
already tell. Okay. What sets your company or you apart from others in your industry?
Okay, well, what sets us apart with Marketing Boost is a number of things. One, we make it incredibly affordable, a no-brainer decision to join, sign up, and test and test. We always recommend you A/B testing, and until you figure it out, it's so affordable that you can afford to hang on to it for months while you use it, even if you're only using them occasionally for your high-ticket clients and so on and so forth. So one, we're affordable. 2, we make it incredibly easy for the end user to use it with no hoops to jump through, no sales presentations, and online platforms. So as soon as they activate the certificate, they can immediately log in, and they have 18 months to select travel dates. So there's a big window as well as to how long they have to use the certificate before it expires. Third thing that sets us apart is our philanthropy efforts. I mean, a percentage of each activation, when people do activate those certificates, we are throwing a couple of dollars to plant trees around the world, and have planted, about 1 million trees so far, according to the people that we're funding the monies to. So
Love it.
we believe in kind of giving back and helping the community. Right now, we're within our Facebook group, for example, we're running a fundraiser for a number of our staff members live in the Philippines. And, we have a big group, a big call center in the Philippines, and big, staffing stat and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were hit by a typhoon not even a month ago or so. And so we've been raising some money to help a lot of people lost their homes or roofs, their you name it. And
Right.
they're kind of family to us and staff to us. So we're sending money that way and helping out.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Beautiful answer. All right. Question number 2. Exactly who do you serve? In other words, who are your ideal customers?
The majority of our clients are solopreneurs, small entrepreneurs. We have medium-sized companies, large companies, and our product base is really designed for business owners, sales managers, marketing managers, marketers, affiliate marketers, coaches. We don't really have a specific small niche, because we literally serve thousands of business owners in 38 countries around the world. And there's everything from the other day, I had a kick out of finding out that one of my clients literally has a lemonade stands. And so I have everything from lemonade stands to car dealerships.
Love it.
Fantastic. That's nice
Love
and
it.
broad.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 3. How do you serve them?
Thank you. Well, we serve them by providing a business tool where it's all online. It's all a self-serve platform, so to speak. You log in, and you can send your client the incentives that we've been referring to, all online, all easy to use, or you can print them and use them at trade shows and what have you. So we're serving them that way. And then we do have upsell programs. We do offer a full white glove service where we can build the sales funnels for the client. A lot of people are stuck, okay, here's me, here's my name, here's my website, here's my dream. Now what, so we can help them actually build their sales funnel page. They provide them with a whole CRM that automates everything, including sending out the incentives. But the biggest way we serve people is in a way right in our Facebook group with 27,000 business owners, where we're always putting on webinars, training on different topics, not only about incentives, but everything about marketing, so that the small entrepreneur can get ideas and figure out what to do next and exactly how to do it, so that they can start seeing some successes. And when they see those successes, I always recommend they get their success bell and celebrate every small success along the way, so they can start feeling that success. Because nowadays, since we work from home, we don't have anybody patting us on the back.
That's so
right.
true.
when you have a success, if you're not celebrating and going, yes, I got my first sale, then you just, unfortunately, we have to celebrate by ourselves sometimes.
That's
right.
true,
They
right?
used to say you got to toot your own horn, right?
I love
And
it.
now you got to ring your own bell.
Ring your own bell.
All right. Question number 4. What qualifies you to serve your customers?
Okay. Well, you guys are harder than I expected this to be.
You're killing it, Marco.
Well,
Let's keep going.
you
Ring
spent
that
the-
bell,
that's
Marco.
There you go. What qualifies me? Well, not to brag, but I guess I'm not a young spring chicken anymore. So I've got some wisdom along the way here and some white hair to prove it. But I've been an entrepreneur since I was 9 years old. I had built the biggest paper route in San Juan, Puerto Rico when I was 9, and got featured on the front page of the newspaper in Puerto Rico when I did that. Had hundreds of clients, but so I've done everything from from newspaper sales to direct sales to door-to-door sales to internet marketing to corporate world, and literally between my career, I've done over $1 billion, helped generate over $1 billion worth of sales for multiple companies, and helped a lot of small entrepreneurs be successful and start, really being able to make the difference between staying home and where, have your own business worth versus holding a job. And I really love it when people can get to the point where they can, quit their job and be full-time entrepreneurs. And I've helped, hundreds of people do exactly that over the years. So that's my claim to fame.
I love it. I love it. Y'all listen
Great
up.
answer.
I can tell he knows what he's talking about. And then finally, the 5th one, Marco, is how does it make their life better? As far as your clients, how does that make their life better?
Well, I would say really within a great example is our Facebook group with very interactive group of people that we encourage them to share so that it's not just me being the coach. I want experts within our own group to be, putting up what they do, teaching and sharing. We always we recommend people, when they're getting ready to launch a campaign or test something, post it into the Facebook group first, and let a group of peers review your campaign, your email campaign, your creative, your video creatives, whatever they are. Share them with a group of other entrepreneurs and let us critique it, from a group of people that are all, entrepreneurs as well. And we can all many of us will jump in and help out on what we see wrong with the call to action, or what we see wrong with the creative, or what we would suggest they change, or what they might consider changing in an A/B test or what have you. And so what that does in the end is how does it make their lives better? It makes them one part of a community of entrepreneurs that are sharing and trying to help each other, pull each other up. And as you climb up the ladder, reach down and help somebody else up behind you. And so that's a lot of what goes on within our group and within our lunch and learn events that we're starting to have again. And we'll do lunch and learn events throughout the country. And we do, again, online events bi-monthly, where again, it's all, we're not charging for every new event. We're not charging for every new webinar. We're providing way more value than we charge for. And we like it that way.
I like it. I like your attitude towards it too. It's like a good friend of ours, Alex Sanfilippo, said, you're approaching it from a point of abundance, from a position of abundance. And I really like that about you, Marco. It's very clear that you're passionate about helping these entrepreneurs grow. I'm the same way. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love being an entrepreneur. And if I can help somebody else be a better one, and I can learn from them, it's amazing what we learn from the young ones too. So I really like your attitude towards that. Tell everybody, how could prospects reach you? What's the best way if they want to work with you and work with your program?
Great. Yeah. Thanks for that opportunity. It's go to marketingboost.com/podcast. And there's an offer there that's only available to listeners of this podcast. So it's marketingboost.com/podcast, where you can get a 1-month membership to Marketing Boost for only $1. And then after that, it's $37 a month. But you can get your first 30 days for $1. And that makes it easy, a no-brainer decision to come sign up, give it a shot, join the Facebook group. So marketingboost.com/podcast. Or you can just go to marketingboost.com and get a 7-day free trial for free for 7 days. And then it's $37 a month after that. Our Facebook group, you can search us for, under Marketing Boost on the Facebook, and you'll find us there as well. Value Add Incentive Facebook group.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
This has been very enlightening. And Marco, you're such a wonderful guy. We really appreciate you coming on our podcast. And you have a lot to offer. And I know there are going to be a lot of people excited about this podcast.
Yes.
Well, cool. Thank you. Well, if you do look at my, back to that image you were talking about before we started the show, I had a photographer shoot some pictures of me, and afterwards he said, "You look like that Dos Equis commercial guy." And so,
World's most interesting man.
Yes, most
so that's what I always say. I don't always use incentives, but when I do, it's Marketing Boost.
I love it.
I love it. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, go to marketingboost.com/podcast. You'll see it, at the bottom. I think it'll be the same link, but you'll see it at the bottom of that page, I believe. And it's the one I'm talking about. The one we had a conversation with off camera here before we hit the record button is the photo of him with his cigar in his hand. Spot on. Beautiful photo. It's wonderful. So, well, thank you, Marco. You're awesome, and we really appreciate it.
Stay thirsty, my friends. Appreciate
there
it.
you go.
Thank you.
Well, if you guys learned something today and that helps you or inspires you, we encourage you to like it, love it, share it, and ding, I need Marco's bell. Subscribe so you can be the first to learn about the next episode.
All right, guys, listen, it's all about prosperity. And when we say prosperity, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about the full 360 of an abundant life that we truly wish for each and every one of you. We know at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, folks, especially with your brand. Thank you, Mr. Marco, and thank you, Ms. Tanya.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you next time on Be Bold Branding. Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.